Okay, so far on this channel, I've done videos on War God, War of the Gargantuas, Gamera vs. Baragon, aka War of the Monsters, not to mention tons of Godzilla movies and foreign knockoffs of dubious legality. So now, time to talk about a movie that combines all those things into one title and movie with War of the God Monsters. I've done Korean Tron, Korean Wonder Woman, and Korean Batman, so now, how about a Korean kaiju movie? But, unlike those other movies I've done, this one actually got an official Blu-ray release, so this will probably be one of the first of these bootleg knockoff movies I've done that doesn't look like a bootleg. War of the God Monsters is a 1985 Korean monster movie that was thought to be partially lost for many years, before finally getting an official restoration and release from SRS Cinema in 2021. It also has several alternate titles like The Flying Monster, Flying Dragon Attacks, and The Undead Beast, but another title for it could be Korean Ultraman. Not because Ultraman actually appears in it, but because all of the monster scenes use unauthorized footage from various Ultraman series, primarily Return of Ultraman. Not too bad it wasn't Ultraman Ace, then they could have used this footage. Jesus, Ultraman had Mortal Kombat fatalities before Mortal Kombat did. I've joked about finding a Turkish knockoff of Ultraman, but I guess a Korean knockoff will do, even if it technically doesn't have Ultraman in it. So anyway, the movie begins exactly how you'd expect a monster movie to, with people on a beach. A very, very crowded beach. So yeah, next the movie's gonna deal with the horrors of long lines at amusement parks. It's okay though, these two managed to find a spot with no people around. Unfortunately for them, it looks like a giant monster just ripped a massive underwater fart next to him. At least I think this is next to him. The stock footage they picked doesn't match the shots of the people swimming at all. And even though this is using Ultraman footage, we're still gonna start it like it's a Jaws ripoff, complete with some blood. That way they can use it to write the opening title. I'm also not sure who this guy is, but by the looks of it, he either collects monster skulls or did the effects for the movie. At least that's what I would say if I didn't know the effects were just lifted from Ultraman. Anyway, enough of that. Looks like this lady's got an important job to do.
또 누가 있겠어? 은밀히 강 기자에게 중책을 맡기로 했어요.
Alright, unlike a lot of other foreign knockoffs I've done on the show, the version I used here did include subtitles, so this time I actually do know what the plot is. This is a reporter called Kang Ok who's been asked to find Dr. Kim, a reclusive scientist who has a theory that dinosaurs could be resurrected in the present day. Before she can find Dr. Kim though, she's got other stuff to worry about, like creeps sitting next to her on the bus. I can't tell if this part is supposed to be comedic or just a weird new genre of Asian porn. Speaking of weird, this is a surprisingly nice looking shot. I'm not really used to seeing those in these foreign knockoffs. Then again, I'm also not used to seeing them in HD quality either. Usually the film stock looks as radioactive as the monsters. Oh right, the reporter's assignment. Oh, maybe this little girl knows where Dr. Kim is.
누굴 찾소?
김 박사님이요?
잘못 찾아왔어. 난 그런 사람 모르고.
Dr. Kim doesn't want to talk to anybody, but Kang has a plan. She comes back and pretends to be his housekeeper wearing a clever disguise. See, look, she has a mole now. They couldn't possibly recognize her. Okay, for real though, even in a movie about giant monsters, this part is kinda weird. According to the subtitles, Kim actually does recognize her from earlier, but doesn't say anything about the fact that she has a giant mole now. The woman who actually was supposed to be his housekeeper has a mole, so I guess that's why she's wearing it. But if Kim already saw her without it, then what's the point? You know something? This unauthorized stock footage monster movie does not make a whole lot of sense. And where the hell did she get this mole so fast? Did she literally steal it from the other lady? Oh well, never mind all that. It's about time we got to some monster action. Oops, my mistake. Apparently that phone call was way more important.
여보세요? 네, 저 수희예요. 아빠, 병원 선생님이야.
Later that day, Dr. Kim goes kaiju hunting. Clearly a monster hopped on one foot here and then flew off. Eventually he does find something else though.
껍질만 뱉어낸 이 절세알 분명 공룡의 짓이다.
So while Dr. Kim is busy giving an inspirational speech to nobody, Kang and Kim's daughter get to know each other better. Fun fact, in Korea, all maids are required to dress like strawberry shortcake. Oh, and I guess the daughter's sad that her mom died or something? Was her mom killed by giant monsters? 'Cause if not, then I don't really care. And don't forget about your assignment, Kang. You've got some snooping to do. Whoa, this is pretty important. Dr. Kim has dinosaur bones and creepshow lighting in his office.
나의 이 기록은 장차 인류에게 닥쳐올 재앙의 예고가 될 것이다.
Another important plot point, according to Dr. Kim, the monsters are caused by global warming releasing them from the ice. See, whenever people talk about climate change, they never mention the giant monsters. Quit showing polar bears starving and start showing monsters leveling cities. That is, if Dr. Kim can actually find any giant monsters.
분명 선사시대의 공룡의 뼈가 틀림없다.
Congratulations, Doc, you found some dinosaur bones, which proves they're still dead. I'm getting a little nervous. We're 25 minutes in and so far there's barely been any monsters. If this were Turkish Star Wars, we would have had lifted Death Star footage and the Indiana Jones theme by now.
이 주문 어떻게 된 일인지 만둥이 한 마리 안 잡힌단 말이야.
Dr. Kim also figures out that Kang isn't actually his maid. He should have known something was up when she suddenly grew a mole out of nowhere. Oh, and you'll never guess what happens next. That's right, a Korean dance party. Dr. Kim, however, does not appreciate their choice of music. This is a BTS household, damn it! He's also very upset that Kang lied to him about being his housekeeper, and the subtitles even say that he threatens to sue her for theft, which is pretty ironic in this movie.
도둑질이 끝났으면 달아나는 것이 도둑의 짓 아니야?
Instead of leaving, though, she just camps out in Dr. Kim's front yard in a tent. Okay, well, at least the mole is gone now. You know, this is still your yard. You could probably call the cops on her or something. Or just let her stay there. The movie seems to be setting you up as love interests anyway. But uh-oh, the original housemaid is back and she's pissed you stole her mole earlier.
내가 왜 아줌마야? 멀쩡한 처녀인데.
And keep looking, Doc. I'm sure some monster footage will turn up eventually. Before that, though, I guess this suddenly just became a home invasion movie? What the hell is happening? Oh, never mind. It's an Asian ghost movie now.
아니, 어떻게 내 짓인 줄 알았을까?
Whoa, wait a second, is that what I think it is? Nope, it's just Dr. Kim running around a bunch of rocks again. Yeah, great, you just found evidence some Ultraman stock footage was just here. Look, even your daughter's better at finding monsters than you are. So at the halfway point, we finally get more monster footage, and you can tell whenever the quality changes from 80s movie to 70s TV show. Or just, you know, whenever there's monsters on screen. That's probably an easier way to tell. Okay, that's not quite true. The Korean filmmakers did make some prop monster feet here, so that's something. Who knows, maybe that's also how they made these giant footprints. So now that we're finally at the monster footage, we get an appearance by the famous Ultraman villain, Rooster Gyrus? Well, would you look at that? We have unauthorized Ultraman footage attacking a completely unrelated movie, and the quality is actually clear. Yeah, eat your heart out, Sampote Sans. All of his bootleg Ultraman films look like home movies made with toys. By the way, what Ultraman monster is this? It looks like a dinosaur fucked a close-up picture of a virus. One benefit to using stock footage from Japan, you can just have their military fight the monster instead of using your own. Like I said earlier, Ultraman himself doesn't actually appear in this movie, but I wouldn't be surprised if Hanuman suddenly showed up. One thing that weirds me out though, Dr. Kim's daughter seems weirdly happy about all the death and destruction going on around her. Oh wait, now she's sad? And now she's in the hospital? When the hell did that happen? Okay, well maybe she got exhausted looking at Ultraman stock footage, I don't know. Also, according to the subtitles, the doctor here thinks that she just hallucinated seeing a giant monster. Okay, so I guess no one else saw this thing just attack an entire city? This is one of the first of these foreign ripoff movies I've done that has subtitles, and somehow they just make the movie even more confusing. And would you stop looking at footprints? The monsters are already here. Oh hey Doc, I rescued your daughter off screen while you were looking at footprints. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to go undercover as an aerobics instructor. Bye. I'll give this movie some credit, it at least kinda tries to have the new footage fit in with the Ultraman stuff, instead of just awkwardly pasting the actors over top of the lifted footage like in Turkish Star Wars. Anyway, time for another monster attack, this time by... Batboytron? As weird as this thing is, it still makes more sense than Dr. Kim trying to explain his theory about dinosaurs coming back to life and no one believing him. Yeah, okay, the things we've seen so far don't really look like dinosaurs, but I'm pretty sure giant monsters fucking shit up is evidence that something's going on here. You know, I just thought of something. If it turns out the monster footage was just the characters watching reruns of Ultraman and Dr. Kim really was crazy, that would be a pretty interesting twist. But nope, the monsters are real and someone else finally sees them. Even more bad news, this monster's so frightening it caused this guy to be scared zany. And again, what the hell is this thing? It looks like two starfish trying to choke out a bat. Well, now that you know that monsters exist, that means it's time for some deep thought and self-reflection. Even when another monster appears right in front of Kang, her reaction is just, "Oh, another monster, huh? Oh, that's pretty weird, I guess." And then she's happy? What is with all the characters having such weird reactions to these things? And hey, what do you think you're doing? You can't just take pictures of people in costume without paying them. Don't you know the Times Square rule? She uses the picture she took to prove that the monsters have come back. Although again, you would think the fact that they're attacking major population centers would be the only proof anyone would need. They also say that if they find an egg and destroy it, that'll stop the monsters from reproducing. Hey, makes about as much sense as anything else in this movie. In any case, have at it, Doc. You can stop the monsters and invent bukkake at the same time. And yes, I'm aware bukkake is Japanese, not Korean, but the monster footage is Japanese, so close enough. But uh-oh, the monsters are back and they don't look happy. The monsters begin a full-scale assault of the city, but it's okay because they're just the hallucinations of a traumatized little girl. None of these things are real, and no one is seeing any of this. Okay, let's see, we've got Rooster Gyrus, Triceratosaurus Rex, and the fearsome Kaitodon. And why does that one sound like an angry monkey? Eventually, the monsters reach the hospital. Next, the doctor's gonna ask why the little girl hallucinated the roof caving in. Man, this has really gotta suck for the citizens of Korea. They just finished rebuilding everything after that gorilla went apeshit back in the 70s. And it's too bad they didn't get any stock footage of Ultraman. He's the only one that could stop these things. Oh, hang on. Maybe they don't need Ultraman, since I think this thing just dies by itself. Hey, wanna know the best way to make it seem like monsters are destroying things around you? Just film in a condemned building. And don't worry about the doctor. He's convinced he's just hallucinating being dead. With the monsters destroying the city, these people better evacuate. No need to worry about the baby, the little guy can fend for himself. You know, it seems like there's an easy way to avoid these monsters. Just don't be in locations that look like the places they're attacking. And this part where people flee into the countryside leads to what is easily my favorite subtitle of the entire movie. You gotta love it when a movie has subtitles that seem like one of the fake ones I would make. What's really funny is the subtitle after this guy discovers they forgot their baby is just, gosh. Oh, and don't expect any resolution on that either. After this, it's never mentioned again, so I guess the baby's just dead. I know I complained about the monsters not appearing sooner, but the next several minutes of the movie is nothing but disjointed monster footage and explosions. It's almost like they felt bad about taking so long to get to the Ultraman footage and wanted to make up for lost time. So to recap, flooding. Congratulations, Dr. Kim, your theory on monsters coming back was correct. Now could you please come up with a theory on how to stop this shit? As weird as the monster scenes are, they still somehow don't hold a candle to the human scenes. Just look at this. Okay, that was gross. Now, some of you may be wondering, if there's no Ultraman in this movie, how are they going to defeat the monsters? Good question, because I'm not exactly sure myself. They show a bunch of scenes of the military attacking the monsters, and then Dr. Kim comes back and says everything's over, so I guess that means they're dead? Yeah, whatever, it's implied that these two get together and the movie reached an hour and a half. The end. So that was probably the most well-made unauthorized foreign knockoff I've ever done on this show. For whatever that's worth. But does that mean it's the most entertaining? I'll give this one points for actually looking like a movie instead of just a bootleg fan film like a lot of the Turkish movies, but as I pointed out, this one takes a long time to get going. The monsters don't really appear until the halfway point, with most of the first half taken up by some family drama I don't really care about. Also, because the monster footage was taken from elsewhere and doesn't actually feature Ultraman, that means that even when they do appear, it's very disjointed. And as weird as the movie can get, there's nothing truly crazy here like Turkish Batman and Robin taking several minutes to just go to a strip club. Ultraman fans might want to give this one a look out of sheer morbid curiosity, but don't expect it to top a real Ultraman film. Now that they've rediscovered this movie, it kind of makes me wonder if there's a bootleg Godzilla film that doesn't actually feature Godzilla, and if there is, would Toho still block my video on it? Well, that's all for now. Until next time.